Hi guys, Casey Stussman and welcome to this month's Whiteboard workout for July. So this month we're going to have 3 rounds, 3 exercises, nothing crazy fancy new, and we're going to focus on a lot of repetition. So we're going to start with some base exercises in round 1, and then we're going to progress them in round 2, and progress them again in round 3. So they're going to make them a little bit more complex, a little bit more challenging each time. But because we're sticking with the basic foundations of the exercise all the way through the workout, there's tons of repetition, and that means lots of great practice for your athletes and participants, so they're going to experience a lot of success with these exercises because we're not throwing too much at them. It's easier for them to process. As always, starting with a really good dynamic warm-up. We're going to be jumping, we're going to be moving fast, so it's important that the body's prepared. 10 to 15 minutes should be your minimum with a good dynamic warm-up and getting them ready to rock. So the rounds are going to be 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes. Now the 10-minute mark is going to obviously be for your people who need a little bit more, not only a little bit more volume, but can go harder because they'll need to take a little bit more rest in between the exercises. So if you're working with an advanced group, I'd say around 10 minutes. Newbies or moderates are going to be more around the 8-minute mark. Make sure you're taking plenty of time in between rounds, not only for them to rest, but to explain the next round and build it on top of what they just did. So our 3 exercises for our first round, we're going to start with a rip reverse paddleboard row. So what we're going to do is we're going to start standing at the top. Our hands are going to be on the rip trainer in zones 1 and 4. We're going to make sure to do right side, and left side, 8 reps on each side. We're going to stand fully extended through the hips with the bar loaded at the end position. As we drop down into the squat, the bar reaches out and then we'll drive and snap up. So we have 8 on the right, 8 on the left. These ones are going to be kind of fast, kind of dynamic, at a good tempo. Once we finish that, we're going to go over to the suspension trainer and we're going to go toes in on the side. So we'll go right side, left side again. We're going to do a side hover or a side plank, depending on the ability level of your athletes, and we're going to do a sky walker. So we're going to start with the feet set together. We're going to flex one hip, extend the other. So keeping the legs straight, the feet will just separate and then slowly come back together. 2 seconds out, 2 seconds back, and then we're going to roll and switch sides. Make sure they roll into the stomach, not the back, so that they keep their toes in. Our third exercise, we're going to use a rebounding or a bouncing med ball, and we're going to do overhead slams. The goal of the overhead slams is to get extension, reaching the ball up, not back. So making sure it's not coming back, reaching up, coming up on the toes if they want, driving it straight down into the ground. Catch it as quick as possible. Try not to get a big bounce. Right when it hits the ground, catch it, pull it back up, and drive it down. We have 12 of those. Now they're going to do that repeatedly. So the rip, the TRX, the med ball, the rip, the TRX, the med ball, as many times as they can in 8 to 10 minutes. Now again, if you have a more advanced level group, have the 10-minute mark because you encourage them to take a little bit of rest in between because the intensity on these exercises and these reps is very, very high. So it's not conditioning per se where they're just going right from one to the next. They want to go hard and then take a little rest in between. Then you're going to give them a break. Round 2, we're just going to progress these a little bit. So now on the rip, we're going to take an offset stance. So if their right hand is their power hand, the one closest to the cord, their right foot will be forward. So now we're in a split stance, but everything's the same. Fully extended at the top, low down, snap up. We're going to do 8 on the right, 8 on the left. When we get over to the suspension trainer, if they started round 1 on the elbow, let's see if round 2, they can come up onto the hand. Another way to make this more challenging is to just slow it down. Instead of a 2 and 2, go to 4 and 4. Out, in, very, very slow with the leg movement, and obviously making sure that they're checking and holding posture throughout the entire range of motion. And then on the med ball, now we're going to add a little bit of rotation. So instead of the straight overhead slam, we're going to turn, pivoting both feet, slam down to the right. So it's a little bit more of a lunge to decelerate opposed to a squat. Then we're going to drive up to the other side and lunge and hit down on there. We're going to again have 12 reps. So 6 on the right, 6 on the left. Then take a little bit of break. In your third and final round. Now these ones are optional, so if they want to stay where they were in round 2, that's totally fine. For the rip, we're going to add a jump. So we're going to keep that split stance, right hand, power hand, right leg forward. This time, as I come up, I'm going to jump into full extension, pulling the bar back, and then land soft. I'm trying to keep a good rhythm. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Not a lot of pausing on this one. 8 on one side, 8 on the other. On the suspension trainer, if they want to take it next level, and not a lot of people will be ready for this because that's a really hard exercise over there on that side hover, that side plank, We can add a crunch with the top knee, top elbow. So they'll be in position, the hand will be behind the head, they'll crunch knee to the elbow, and then extend and open up. 8 on one side, 8 on the other. And then finally on the med ball, we're going to do the exact same pivoting, rotational, lunging slam, but we're going to add a jump. So this time as they come up, extending, they're going to jump and then drive down hard into the ground. And that'll be the third and final round. And then stretch them down, cool them off, and tell them what a great job they did. So I hope you enjoyed this month's whiteboard workout. If you want the Insiders whiteboard workout, if you don't currently get that, head over to CaseySuffman.com and click Join the League of Extraordinary Trainers. I send that out once a month. It's the same format. You get great exercises and great workouts, but we add a little bit more on the video, so you get to see demonstrations of the exercises, so it's a little bit easier too. So head over there and check that out, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next month.